welcome to another money morning routine. Okay, nothing happening as far as anything coming out of my checking account. We're still just waiting on, I think I have one bill still coming out. If we go here, YouTube TV, which should be coming out either today or tomorrow. I did have some cash spending, so let me go ahead and open up my wallet. Okay, so for food spending, I did have some food spending. Got my receipt here, did Chipotle last night. It was a crazy night. So let's count how much cash I have left for food. So $2.15 is what I have left to spend. And I did have two $5 bills, so we'll take care of that in a minute. So $2.15, let's go ahead and write that down. So $2.15. And I had Chipotle last night, which was $11.25. Just gonna write Chipotle. And you can see on my receipt, I spent $29.19, but I always round up to the nearest dollar. So I'm gonna just put minus 30. Okay, we have another transaction by $5 bills. So I have $10.25. So I'm gonna write that towards my $5 challenge. So today is $11.26, $5 challenge minus 10, which is gonna leave me $2.05 to spend. So I'm gonna put this, first let's put the money back into my food envelope. Okay, so I have it written down on my cash envelope, giving me an updated balance of what I have to spend specifically in my food category. This is why I have a cash envelope for it. So let's write it in on my expense tracker. Now remember, I write it on my expense tracker because this is what I use to close out my budget. I don't use my cash envelopes. I use my expense tracker. So let's go ahead and $11.25 Chipotle. That's a food expense for $30. But then I have to write down the expense today of my $5. So $5 challenge. That's a savings deposit in my life. And that is $10. Okay, so now it's on my expense tracker. I can scan this into Fetch Rewards, my receipt. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the $5 that I have, or the $10 that I have, the two fives, are gonna go in my $5 challenge jar. Now I've been using this since January. It's very deceptive because a lot of these bills, there's multiple fives. So it may only look like one folded up, but really there's multiples. I'm very excited to open this up at the end of December and see how many fives I was able to save this year. Now, the way that I complete my $5 challenge is people ask me, where do you get the fives to save? So for example, when I pull out cash, so here, let's go to December, my December budget. Okay, this is my December budget. When I pull out cash for my cash envelopes, whether it's for my variable spending categories in my budget, if I pull out fives for that, I don't take it from that. Or maybe there's some, I'm pulling out, you can see, well, there's no fives I'm pulling out, but if I was pulling out fives initially to fund any of these things, I wouldn't use those fives. I only use the fives that I get back as change from spending my cash. So if I was going to, for my homestead, maybe I was taking out, a couple of fives. I wouldn't use the initial money that I'm using to pull out for these spending limits. Only what I receive back when I spend the money. So this will be going in my $5 challenge jar. So we got that written down. You can see I finished my December budget. I got that done. I also got my cash envelope breakdown for December, which allowed me and helped me fill out my cash teller slip. Now the cash envelope breakdown, if you use cash envelopes or do any type of cash spending in your life, I highly recommend that you fill out the cash envelope breakdown. This just essentially helps you figure out what bill denominations you need to pull out from your bank in order to fill or stuff your cash envelopes or to fulfill any savings goals that you're saving in cash. It just makes things a lot easier now. You have access in BBP Central to cash teller slips for free if you get the BBP, or maybe you have my sticky note teller slips. Just write it down here on the teller slip from your worksheet, bring it down to the bank and just hand it to them. It makes it really easy. I always get really great feedback from the tellers at the banks for this little dandy teller slip. So that's what I use the cash envelope breakdown. there are only 2 things outside of my variable budget categories that I'm going to be getting cash for. That's my 100 envelope challenge, as well as $100 from my homestead, which we're going to be using on hay for the goats. So got December done. Another thing that I worked on and got done is I got my monthly budget set for closing out my budget, which I'm going to be doing here on Friday. That's the date I've chose this week to close out my budget, is Friday, just because of the holidays and everything that is going on. So today, though, I'm going to the grocery store for all things Thanksgiving. We had a really good friend in our lives whose father passed away, and so I'm going to be doing a train meal for them. I'm going to be getting the ingredients to make that. I'm just making a really easy baked spaghetti recipe for them. So I need to go to the grocery store today and do that, which means you're going to be seeing that. Now, usually I don't go grocery shopping so close to closing out my budget because I don't like any pending transactions in there, but I'm thinking I'm giving myself just enough days for that transaction to clear. We'll see though, but it's got to be done today, and that is my Monday morning routine.